All right, so I got all the hardware in here. Everything that's tarnished. Just going to put some parts cleaner in there. Or I should say some Varsol. It's super safe on pretty much all surfaces. And I'm just gonna let it soak for about half an hour. And we're gonna clean all these parts up, relubricate everything, and should be good. So let's do this. Perfect. All right, that is just gonna sit there and bubble for a little bit while we go work on the neck. All right, first things first, let's check how straight this is. It's a little bit of gap in the middle, so we're going to give this a tweak. Well, the truss rod seems to work. That's good. There we go. That is even better. Oh man, that's nice. Not gonna get it any straighter than that. See how tight this is. Yeah, she's pretty snug. So yeah, so that's good. Maybe that's where it can be when the strings are on it as well. That's really good. So I've been using the skyscraper, fret rocker, and man, it's a really nice tool. But then recently there was a sale on STUMAC, and I thought I'd order their fret rocker just to see how much better it would be. And this is their fret rocker. And you know what? This one is so much nicer. There's a lot more detail to it, and I know that doesn't really matter, but their logo is like etched into the metal. They took the sharpness off the edges, whereas this one, holy lifting. Like you could probably slice your finger on the edges of this. Like that's ridiculous. And this thing was like 20 bucks on Amazon, and these STUMAC fret rockers are like 45 for me to buy here in Canada. So yeah, I don't know, man. STUMAC seems to be a little overrated, I think, maybe with those tools. But everything is lifetime guaranteed there, right? So anyway, I'm going to check them with both fret rockers and see what the results are. Wow. We have level frets, people. Now, for those of you wondering, I'm not just sliding across the frets. I'm actually like putting pressure with my hands. You can't really see it, but I'm sliding across the fret and I'm kind of putting pressure to see if this thing will rock, right? And it's not doing anything. This fret rocker is so sharp. All right. Perfectly level frets. According to STUMAC, let's check skyscraper and see what happens. See, this one slides across the frets so much easier because they took the time to kind of bevel those edges, so it's nice and smooth. Whereas the STUMAC one, if it catches something on the fret, it stops, like it's that sharp. So I don't know. Wow, perfect. All right. You know, back in the 80s, Fender could put out a fretboard with level frets. Why can't they do it today in 2024? I've had a lot of Fenders, Squires, and Mexicans and Americans that friends of mine have asked me to touch up for them, and multiple unlevel frets. So what's changed since the 80s? Has technology gotten worse? No. So just, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, all right. We're going to clean up this neck before polishing the frets. Just took these string trees off. They're pretty corroded too. They're going in the Varsol. Again, to clean this neck, we're going to use Varsol just to get all this crap off of it. See all that mess? It'll come right off. But let me show you. Look at the difference. All those stains and those greasy spots are gone. All right. Look at this. Look at how nice and shiny this neck came. Right? All that sticky residue is gone. Fretboard is nice and clean. See that? Awesome. Awesome. Got some radius gauges here. And man, I thought this was probably like a 9.5, but look at that. Let's see if I can show you. See how much that 9.5 rocks? See the light under there? So this is like a 7.25 radius neck. Look. Look at that. See? Barely moves. Now if I put like the 12 on there. See that? So yeah, this is a 7.25 radius neck. See, 9.5 is too much, and 7.25 is perfect, and it's all the way through, and it's also in the nut slot. Okay, so I'm going to mark all these frets, and I'm just going to crown them. Make sure they're all nice and evenly crowned, because they're perfectly level, and then we'll do a polish, and this neck will be ready. Last one. Okay, we are all crowned up. So now we just need to polish. And this neck will be ready to rock and roll. Fret guard protector here. Elastics on. Makes everything so much easier than having to tape the whole thing. And there we go. We're protected. We're going to start with 500 grit sandpaper, and then we're going to go all the way up to 2500, and then we're going to fine polish with 0000 steel wool. Now everybody has their own way of doing this stuff. Don't think that this is correct. It just works for me and I like the results. So all I do with every different grit of sandpaper is I start at the bottom or the top, it doesn't matter. And I just go from one end, applying pressure to each fret as I go up. 5 or 6 passes on every fret, and then I just keep moving. And then when I reach the top, I just go back down. And then I'm done with that grit. And you're not trying to take meat off, you're only polishing. That's it. Take the next one and repeat. Now the very last process is steel wool for the final polishing. And same thing, I go all the way up and I come all the way down and then we're done. So let's do this. My index finger is the one that's doing kind of the polishing, the one I'm focusing on. And then the fret just behind that one that I just polished with my index is now getting like a second treatment with my middle finger. You know? So it's kind of a spa day for the frets. They get their primary polish and their secondary. All right, we're done. Let's do the reveal. Oh, check these suckers out. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty right there, folks. Woohoo! I'm super happy with how that turned out. Once I'm done, I'm not going to use this piece again because I used like every corner of it. So I'm not going to use it again to do another guitar. But one thing I do like to do is go on the back of the neck and take any, residue of, that could be like glue or wax or whatever. I like to take that off and so just lightly polish. And I just follow the natural contour of the top of the neck. You don't have to do the back of the headstock, obviously. So I just like doing that. You're not going to wreck anything. Once you feel the steel wool is gliding smoothly, it's not really catching on anything, it's just nice and smooth. When you put your hand on that, it's going to be the same thing. It's just fantastic, right? And it doesn't hurt the finish, as you can see, right? It doesn't lighten it up or anything. Now, if you had a super high gloss on your neck, it would definitely take some of that shine away. But these 1980s Japanese Fenders did not have big, thick layers of poly on their necks. we're done. I just need to clean it again, and I am going to condition the fretboard. All right, I'm just going to lemon oil the whole thing, starting with the back. This thing probably hasn't been done in years, so it's definitely not going to hurt anything. Just take the excess off. And I'm just going to let it soak. Neck is done. Let's move on to the body. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty nice. Wow. Strat, it's coming to life. Right? Not perfect, but man, it's pretty darn good. That's just the buffing compound. I haven't even waxed it yet. I already did the back. Now it's all kind of smudged again from laying down on this pad. So I'll have to clean that up. All right, I'm gonna wax it with some butter wax by the chemical guys. I decided to add some shielding to all the cavities there, and they're all connected together. And I even put a little piece of shielding tape right over where the bridge will mount down to the body. So now the bridge will be connected to this too. And from the back of the volume pot, I'm going to run a small wire to a screw which will be embedded in the shielding right here. So the bridge will be shielded from the front and also from the back. Before we get the parts all cleaned up for reassembly, I'm just working on this nut. So I found a bone nut that I had off of one of my Musi Telecasters, and this is the one that I removed when I did my blackout Musi project, because I installed a black nut on it. So this nut's perfect. It's just a little bit longer than the original, which will be good. But it's flat underneath. So I thought that maybe I could line it up with my radius gauge here, right? And like the two ends. And then I could put a mark on it, like underneath. And I know exactly what I have to remove. All right, so there it is. All right, now to fine tune this nut, I'm going to take a wooden dowel. I'm going to put some 220 sticky sandpaper on it. And I'm just going to work it by hand. Until I feel that it's smooth. It's not going to take much because I'm feeling it already. And there we have a radius nut. Alright guys, this video is pushing 20 minutes long, so we're going to end it there. And when we come back, we'll do the parts cleaning and partial reassembly. You guys take care. God bless. Keep rocking that 6 string.